Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Bloop and a Blast podcast. My name is Big Sexy. I am the Bloop, sometimes the Blast. This guy mostly is the Blast. His name's Hughesy. Hughesy, mate, I'm going to let you take it from here. I know my role. I'm going to sit back. Who we got? Who we got talking
We've
to
got
this week?
we've got Aaron Whitefield, the fastest Australian baseballer, the superstar centre fielder, the guy that dazzles out there and is leading the league in hitting this year, mate. Welcome to the pod.
Cheers, fellas. Cheers for having me.
That was a pretty good.
Mate,
that was a pretty good intro.
like that?
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
love that.
Whitey,
That's
he
the
doesn't. He doesn't do that for anyone, mate. You must be a big
that's just-
deal. You must be a
I
big
like
deal.
that.
I just winged that. That came out great.
That's good.
Got
No,
better.
that's really good. Yeah.
Episode 17, we finally hit our straps leading into the last round of the ABL season. Mate, Whitey, it's been a fantastic season for yourself, mate. It's been fun to watch you bounce back this year and, as I said, leading the league in hitting just over daily over there in Melbourne. It's a pretty, formidable 1-2 punch. It's obviously been a fun season for you guys. Talk us through, where you're at, mate, leading into the final week of the season.
Yeah. I just won't seem to go away. So he's right up there. But no, it's been I wouldn't say where we want to be this season, but we've had a blast. The guys have been great. Like the imports we got, we lost a couple early, the Texas guys and that. But for me, just like third year in Melbourne, just kind of making it home. Now like I've got 3 more years, and stayed here during the winter, and I think that really made me kind of solidify this is my new home, and to be able to just settle in, I feel like is why I'm being able to kind of do what I was able to do over the last couple of years.
It's funny that you say that, making it home, because I have to check myself, because I've obviously watched a lot of your games this year, and then I think to myself, oh yeah, that's right. He's played in Brisbane. He's played in Adelaide. He's played in a lot of places, and then you go, oh, I just sort of was like, he's just an Aces guy. I don't know, it just looks like it's a good fit. You know what I mean? So it's kind of cool. So no, that's good to hear, man.
No, yeah, I feel like it's especially just getting to know more people outside of baseball. Makes it feel like it's just not like my first couple of years. You kind of just go to the baseball field, and go home, baseball field. Go. It kind of feels like pro ball, where you just in the city just for the season, and then you're out of there. But back home in ABL, you want to feel like home and enjoy going to the field each day. And I've been working with a lot of kids and down here, and them being able to come out and some days give me shit if I'm playing shit and I'm on their case about some stuff. Yeah, just being able to with how many good young baseballs there are in Melbourne, and giving back, I feel like that's kind of helped me get back to the player that I was earlier in my career, and not focusing on trying to get a job here, there, or playing to play in a certain place. Just kind of playing where my feet are and enjoying the game for what it is. And I think that's a big thing for why I'm having success.
The connection to the community is always something, when you come into, a new clubhouse, a new state, and, you mentioned you came over to play winter ball at GMBC, and, talking to all the boys, fit in really well there, and you are doing a lot of coaching. And I guess it would just be great to see all those kids, week on week at home games down at Melbourne, supporting you, so what do you see, yourself now? You've been in the league for a while, mate. You're not the young cat anymore that's just running rampant on the bases, annoying the shit out of every opposition coach and player. Where do you see your game at the moment? You still blend your speed and your athleticism with, a bit more pop. As I said, you're leading the league in hitting. Everything's going really well. You bounce back this season. What do you see, the changes within your swing, your approach? What does that look like for you?
I think it's one of the things, and you'll probably be able to relate to this. Being ahead of the game mentally, as you said, I used to just kind of run wild, and my speed and my athleticism kind of was what, I feel like in the ABL, I was able to show it out a lot and just kind of rely on that. And as the game has changed as well, but I've been able to, kind of know what pitches are going to come at me with, especially guys that I've faced a lot of times. So, when you have an idea of what's coming, it's a lot easier to hit. And I feel like that's why more of my power surges come from too. Just, knowing and then being able to not, get jumpy when that pitch does come and just, try and put the barrel of the ball. I feel like before I was like, oh, I need to generate all this power and get this huge swing. And like everyone, sees everyone's, last one, it's like, it just looks like you're standing there. And I was like, for me, I just wanted to simplify as much as I can and just my power and my speed in whether it's the gym or anything like that comes from like the quick twitch that I have. And I think it took me a long time till, this year or even end of last year to be able to put that into a swing that suits me. And, you saw me in the winter, like no matter where this is the longest I've been probably since like middle of last year, December of last year, where my swings felt the same from then to now, which, for a baseball is hard to continue that feeling of feeling good and feeling, hot, I guess, for that long.
Yeah, definitely. Mate, I'm bouncing back to your stats and looking, I've got them up here, and you're 3 stolen bases away from 100. All right. No one, it's pretty special. No one else has done that, right? I don't think, off the top of my head.
Nah, TK's got the next closest, of course.
What's he got? What's TK got?
70, I think.
Oh, God, he doesn't even steal bases. That's just accumulation of years right there.
Just a little side quest for TK. Just a little side quest.
Yeah.
So 3 away from 100. What are you going to do? You're going to slide in, pick up the base this weekend, hold up in the air, like rest in peace, Ricky Henderson, and do a little celebration, mate. What do you got in the cards for us? A little something?
I asked Mooney if I could take it, and he said no. But then front office kind of said yes. And I said, "What am I going to do if I just walk off with the nose?" But so honestly, I don't know. But at the same time, too, it's as much as this weekend's a huge weekend for us too. So it's not like I can just snag an easy bag just going on there. So if the opportunity comes, but for me,
bullshit. This is my challenge to you. Get that 3 bags, get that hundo, mate. Take care of business. Yeah. I've been on you, man. I've been on you guys the whole season. I've not let up. I've, week in, week out, I've been copping it from Sexy. He's like, mate, when are you guys going to get off Melbourne? It's just, no, I've locked in the whole season. Last weekend, you won 2 close games. We're able to get up and really, I guess, give you guys the best opportunity to go out there this weekend, play a good round of baseball and make the playoffs, mate. And, I know Deeb's clearly very well. It's like a second dad to me. What's his messaging been at training this week? What does it look like for you lads going into the weekend?
I think it's just controlling what we can control. I think it's like, you go back and look at a lot of the games this year. I think you can count up to like 5 or 6 games that we've blown ourselves, whether it's been errors, walks, things that we can control. I know obviously some things, those games also have been got the shit kicked out of us, but there's those games that, we've got a lead or gone in the 9th and walked a guy and then give up a run or, made an error in the field when our pitchers are, balling out and his biggest thing was just play how we can play and like how we started off last week and even how we finished off and we'll be fine. But I think a lot of the time is that as you said, like last weekend was a good start and then we finished it off and got the 3 games, which is huge against, especially against Sydney. But for us, just take care of business, like worry about ourselves and we show glimpses and 4 games left. Why not just blow the doors off it? And wouldn't be the worst thing to do it against Adelaide too.
I got so many questions. I've got a lot of questions. I got a lot. So first of all, I think we just glimpsed over the celly a little bit, right? So like we need to work on like a Whitefield celly where you're there. Like I don't know if it's like you just stand.
I'm the greatest.
I am him. I am him. Like I don't know if you got like a white, like we could do like a West Side type thing with the Whitefield thing. I don't know, like it's a t-shirt, right? So the celly is a t-shirt, so work out what the celly is. 100 bases, Mr. 100, I don't know. There's something there. I mean,
TK gave us absolutely nothing for his 500s, right?
Yeah.
Not even a bit of the card. He gave us nothing, mate. So you need to pick up the slack, all right? You need to pick up that fellow.
I'll get something for it.
Even treat it.
I'll give you something. It's going to be third base.
All right.
Okay.
Cool.
I actually loved it, and I sent you a video and off the Bloop Blast page. For those listening, follow us at Bloop Blast Podcast. I sent you a video because I'm sitting here watching the Melbourne game, and it was like Friday night, and Whitey's running, And Hughes, I don't know if you caught this, but Whitey's running and he hit. You hit the ball, right? It was a ball out in the gap, and basically you're
Yeah.
rounding second, and he's running, like looking at the ball, running towards third base this way, and he's just like, I just said it to him laughing. I'm like,
Still,
mate,
still
like,
running faster. Still running
yeah,
faster than anyone else
that's the
sideways.
thing. That's like watching you play. It is weird because like you don't look like you're that quick. Sorry, like you don't. Like
Yeah.
watching you run, you're just like, oh yeah, whatever. Like this is big, like lanky sort of dude just getting around. Like he's not skinny. You know what I mean? Like, and then you're like, hang on a minute, he's just there. Like, so I don't know. It was weird, but I said that to you. I was laughing my ass
Yeah, I
off.
was
And I'm
laughing when
like,
you said that.
what the heck? Like, but and I mean, look, hey, we saw your speed on the weekend. I don't know if we were going to talk about it, but we'll talk about it. You were one of the first guys in there, out of
Yeah.
nowhere, Whitey's in there. So good to see. Good to see. How you feeling? You all right? You okay? You rested up? You got plenty of ice on
Yeah.
that little cheek of yours, that little lump? Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes some would say, I think my sister especially and brother would say that I have a very punchable face. So, um, whenever the boys are in it, as Hughesy knows, he's been on the other side of the push and shove, especially when I was at Adelaide and I'm taking too big of leads at third base and he keeps telling me to go back. That's what he
I would have said that. I would
Not
have
easy.
said
That's not easy. What are you talking about?
But nah, just a little push and shove, good for the game. Good
Is
for
what it
boxing.
is. That's it,
Yeah.
And you know what? I'd actually say this because as we spoke about, as Hughesy spoke about, and commend you, Hughesy. You've doubled down, you tripled down, you've gone all in on Melbourne all freaking year. And I'm thinking to myself, this poor guy, he just can't get out of the hole. It's like watching someone just put their whole paycheck through a machine. Like, hey man, just give up. Like it's over.
3 games are coming soon.
Yeah. It's cool. Like, but he did, and it's worked out. He had a perfect round last week. He's back in front of the points. Melbourne helped him out, but like it's just good to see. And like what I think is like maybe some of that fire, some of that drama that happened over the weekend was a good thing for your ball club because it looked like all of a sudden, hey, we got these guys. They're all clicking. They're firing on all canisters. And not saying that you weren't, but it did seem like it was pretty. I want to say like inconsistent. Let's just say that much to be fair. Like and it was the same with Perth throughout the year. But you'd see this team, and then the next day you might not see that team, and it feels like from the small sample size we got of the last game of the round that hey, maybe now Melbourne's clicking, and maybe this is all it took, bit of fire to get the boys around it and get the boys ready to go.
No, 100%. I think, with it being a big series and, the rivalry obviously that we have with Adelaide as well to just, fire us before. Usually it's that series that ends up in a push and a shove. So to go in and just, we had practice tonight and I think everyone was on the same page, ready to roll and, know we have a job to do. And I think, as you said, like just inconsistent the whole year. Like, and, like we still giving ourselves a chance, which is, awesome. And it's in our hands to take it. So I think, after Sunday's win, crazy finish to that game and to that series, I think we're just going to push forward and, hopefully take 4, the worst case, take 3. And then, everyone knows what happens in the old ABL playoffs. Anything can happen.
anything happens.
It's crazy. And so I think I personally have made a bit of a point this year about how like anything can happen in Adelaide, right? But I mean, after the last like few rounds in Melbourne, like, oh man, anything can happen in Melbourne. And then you've got Adelaide in Melbourne, all the players. Like, we're talking to, we're going to have a chat with Eric Balnar later on in this episode, and he's going to give us a few situations and scenarios as to what's going on in the ABL. It's chaos, mate. Like, it's just all over the place. So it's, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I can't pick it. Hughesy can for 1 week, and now he's in the lead, but that's all right. Doesn't really matter. That's fine.
I think that's the thing, though, too, with us is, having 2 home series towards the end. If anything, we've probably played our best baseball at home throughout the season. So, the boys love the support. We have great crowds and, the fans have been unreal in Melbourne, like just interactive in that. And I think that makes a huge difference, especially with a big weekend like this coming up. I think it's only going to help the boys tomorrow night.
Man, it's going to be huge out there this weekend.
Oh,
yeah. Last weekend of the regular season, everyone in baseball in Victoria understands what's at stake throughout, the 4-game set. And you've been able to draw fantastic crowds all season. Ralphie and crew, Huber and everybody that works at the club has done a great job to be able to continue to develop the stadium for one. The offering of what you get when you're there, the entertainment on field, off field. The corporate hospitality, I always say, is the best throughout all of Australian baseball. It's really become a place to go and watch, baseball and have such a great experience. And they've been able to lead from the front. So, I'm really excited to see the size of the crowds this weekend out there. Hopefully, the rain and everything, and we get some good weather. That would be fantastic. I know Sunday would have been, a huge track for you guys. I was driving out there to catch up and watch the game, and got out of the tunnel and it was just belting rain. So I ducked off and turned around and came home. And I think I flipped it on and noticed that you guys started at like 4:00 or something ridiculous. So a long day out there, but I did see quite a few fans still sitting around and waiting and watching and stuff like that. So, mate, it's going to be exciting end to the season, right? And I'm sure everyone will be out there supporting you guys, and really looking forward to watching you guys play.
No, definitely. I think that was a big, part of why, we've had so much success, as I said before, with the fans. Like, it's been the weather, obviously, too. Ever since I've been in Melbourne, the weather, you never know what you're going to get. But this ABL season, like, we've had unbelievable home series. It's just, touch wood, no rain outs. But I think just, going forward, not just this season, but going in there, we just keep, the front office keeps doing, the volunteers keep doing what they've been doing. And, I feel like it's just one of those places you want to play now. It's like, when we were winning, when I was in Brisbane and we were winning there, like, that was a place you wanted to play. Like, it was fun, like, loud, like
rocking. It was rocking up there when you guys were winning.
Like, you were just like, oh, that's where I want to go. Canberra, even when they were back when I was first in there, and they were good too. Like, that was a place. Holy, when I was at Adelaide that year, we lost to you guys in championship. We went to play a final there, and they were on our dugout and stuff, and like, that's what, like, it's so fun when you're in the league. And that's what it was like the other night when we played Sydney, when we walked them off. So loud, you would have thought like 5,000 people were there. So, like, shout out to the fans and the front office and the volunteers for what they do, because it makes it so much more enjoyable. And, I think that's a big reason why we play so well at home.
Whitey, I'll be remiss if I don't ask you a question about your time with the Angels. All right. Now, I've got to ask you, man, what, of course, cutting from, the ABL to the MLB, but what was it like being in that clubhouse? That has to be something completely different, right? Like, can you give me some insight as far as like your time that you spent with the Angels there in 22?
Yeah, it was definitely different. I was lucky because I went to spring training with them, so I got a glimpse of like big league spring with backing up games, with being one of the, like, kind of an older player, and had a glimpse of showtime with the Twins before I went. So I did a lot of backing up in spring. So I kind of got to know, that's where I got to meet Trouty, because I was the guy that would go in the fifth inning for him and take up the last couple of bats. But, to me, like, honestly, talk about Trouty first. Trouty made it seem like, he wasn't who he was. Like, it was just easy to go talk to him. Like, he was a normal guy. So, like, for me, it's like, I could still talk to him about golf. He has some of the golf, like pools for like the Masters and stuff.
Yeah.
So, like, me, Robbie, and TK and Meaty were in his last pool for the Masters. So, all
right, Mr. Name Drop. All right, Mr. Name Drop over here.
Yeah.
So, but no, like, just a cool dude. So, like, that made it so much easier. And then Shohei's just like a different beast. Like, he's just honestly like a robot. He's always doing something, hitting. He's the best, like, the biggest, strongest, fastest machine that there is.
The size thing with Shohei is probably what, like, you get surprised about. Yeah, like, because you see him swiping bags and all that. Like, I mean, last season, but and then you go, this guy is actually pretty big. Like, what the heck's going on? Like, he's just man. I don't know. I knew I'd be envious if I never asked you about that, because that must have just been like, what the heck is going on? Like, being around those two absolute freaks,
And that was a crazy thing. And I guess, like, we had a bunch of like Brandon Marsh and Mickey Moniak too when I was there, who were both kind of younger guys who were easy to hang out with and chill out. It was a really good clubhouse, but just like the organisation from the AAA and AA and the big league side, because of the spring training, a lot of the older guys there, we always spent a lot of time together. But one thing I will say about when you're talking about my speed and how I don't look like I'm fast, I remember when Trouty, after the first day, when I came in to play Centerfield for him, and he gave me a weird look. And the next day he comes in and goes, hey, come over here. And I was like, over there and it was him and Upton, because Upton was still there. And he was just like, we were at dinner last night and, we were looking and you can run. I was like, yeah, I can run. Because at that stage too, I was like 230. When I was going to the Angels the first time, I was like, I'm going to get big and try and hit homers. And I was like 230. So I was like 110 kilos. And he's like, you can run? And I was like, just like, a little bit. He's like, no, you can. Like, we looked you up and saw some videos. You like, because there was a video of, Hughesy, Tommy Watkins? He has a, Tommy was like one of my managers in low A for the Twins. And he had a video of me tagging up from second base when I was like 18 and scoring. And he's like, see this? You can run. I was like, yeah, probably that was many meals ago.
Yeah, I'm looking a lot more like a big winger in the NRL.
Yeah.
Right? So like
that was a couple beers ago.
We've lost Hughesy. He was looking pretty happy there, but we've lost him. So that's a bloody shame. He'll dial back in surely. Yeah. That's sick, man. That's just crazy. Like to think that. Yeah. So what then what happened from there? They were just like, you can run a bit. Like they just worked out that you can run, or was there?
Yeah. So they did like in the Angels, and when I went back to minor league camp, like one of the base running coaches, Maish, awesome dude, and we joke about it still. He's like, hey, all the base runners come over with me. And I walked over there and he's like, mate, over there, like they'll only play me in left and right field. Like, go over there, mate. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, I'm a base runner. He goes, yeah, you're a base runner. I'm like, yeah, okay. And I'm like, no, seriously. He goes, mate, go back to the other group with all the big boys and just stay over there.
Okay.
Like, mate, I stole 30, I think I had like 34 bases last year. And he's like, no, you didn't. And I was like, you know what, mate, if it's extra running, I don't want to do it anyway. So I just went. The next day he comes up and goes, you weren't fucking with me. And I was like, I didn't tell you.
I'm not here to muck around, bro. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was my first trying to get into the base running group the first day.
I have that problem a lot, Whitey. I'm a bit under 110 at the moment, and people will go, "You can't still base." And I'm like, yeah, that's all right, man. No worries. But the only difference is I'm not quick at all. So there you go. So there's that.
When have you hit 370?
All right, so I'm looking at your best season in the ABL, and that's probably something we need to look at. Hold on a second. Let me just pull it up.
Honestly, it'd probably be this one.
To our listeners, we're back, and the boys are arguing over their best years in the ABL.
Right, so I'm pulling up some stats. We don't look at fielding stats here.
Whitey's given us a secret to winning a Helms Award. Whitey, what is it?
Mint slices.
That's a mint slice.
A pack a day keeps the doctor away.
A pack a day. Jeez, you have the freshest breath.
I thought he put on some weight, Seriously.
Yeah. Well, Hughesy.
All right, here we go. We've got a comparison coming up. All right. What are you hitting this year? 369? What do you got? 1 or 2 homers?
2. I don't know. Ask Wellesley.
You got 4.
Hey, that's my brother, man. Don't talk shit about my brother.
All right. What do we got here? What's the best one? Oh, best one.
Leading the league in punches to the face. That's what he's doing.
Right. Aaron Whitefield, 369.
Got ejected so many games, you only played half the
season. Short fuse, Luke Hughes.
That was the best.
Thanks to the boys up there in Queensland. Love them.
The Outlaws.
That was some of the best.
Oh, mate, great. Love the work. Love it up there. It was very funny. Mate, so I guess this is probably, 376, 23 bags. You hit 2 bombs. That's it. 24 RBIs.
Hardest place to hit.
Sydney. I got Sydney being harder.
What, you don't like a batter's eye?
Well, yeah, at least you got a Batters-all. That's a positive, isn't it? And this year 369, 4 home runs. You only stolen 8. So I'll put this season as your probably third best season if I'm looking at it. I reckon first best season 2019, second best is probably when you won it as well.
Won what? Can you say that loud for the viewers?
Helms must have been a down year in 2016. Was it? How's a guy win a Helms with 15 RBIs? What are we doing?
The lead off Hughesy.
What are we doing? 20 bags. Surely Soupy Campbell or something was sitting behind you just raking in all the RBIs that year.
I think it was Logs.
Yeah, right. Well, okay, put it to the listeners out there, all right? Put it to the listeners. Would you take, all right?
Don't forget the defensive player of the year those 2 years.
Who cares about that?
Oh, yeah, so you're extra points on the Gold Glove Award. Yeah, right.
Yeah, okay. Hughesy doesn't have to worry about that. Yeah. He doesn't have the glove.
376.
He's just a
376. 2 home runs. I repeat, 2 home runs. 23 bags. Or would you take...
In how many games? Hold on. How many games?
Yeah, how many games?
Good question. All right, how many
19?
Was that? Yeah.
Or did he play all?
35. 35. Okay. You had 125
23 bags. That's pretty good.
It's pretty good. Or would you hit 327, all right, 11 doubles, 13 home runs, 37 RBIs, 32 walks, right?
How many punches? You seem to skip that one.
OPS. No, I'll get there. 38.
Well, you're throwing in your OPS. 38 punches. All right.
Yeah. 2 bags there. OPS 11, 1.120.
What's the on base percentage between yours and his season? Because they're both okay.
His best season, his OPS is 983. I mean, he's 200 points behind me.
But this is where you got to look, Hughesy. The reason why you have so many RBIs is because of someone like me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
How many runs scored? How many runs scored do I have?
I hit 13 solo shots that year.
Did you?
No one cares.
That's impressive.
Mate. I think something that we haven't, and we did skip over it a little bit, and there's so many accolades that you have, mate. And all jokes aside, 2-time Helms Award winner, mate. You're a constant on the Australian national team. You're now a leader, mate. You've gone through, I guess, being the young guy, just with all the high energy playing into now, a leader on that team. That transition over the last few years, especially, has probably been, a big one for you. And looking forward into the future. I'll have to go back and see how old you are. Give me 1 second. You are 28. All right. So if we look at it, 28 now, 32.
Are you 28?
And then 36, mate. So, you only have 2, Olympic Games potentially, being able to play there. I can still see you playing at 36. You got plenty of WBCs. What are you looking forward to, mate? What's on the cards that you really are, and besides, the ABL and, trying to win a championship this year, like what else is in there for Whitey?
I think it's funny right now is like this season, looking forward to this season. I think that was one thing that I really wanted to focus on this year, and is what speaking about earlier is just focusing on playing like right now where my feet are and enjoying this, because as you said, like talk from when you first met me to now has gone like that. So and I feel like some of those ABLs, like I got lost in like, I've got to be here this next year and here there, and instead of just kind of enjoying like being around the boys, being like playing and trying to win another championship and being here. I honestly couldn't tell you what the next couple of years. I would love to, like I said, I'd love to play with my sister at the Olympics, like with her on the Aussie women's team and me on the baseball team. I think that'd be really cool for our parents. And then honestly, if I could finish at 36 and play in Brisbane, like in Brisbane be the finale for me, like as an Olympic Games would be pretty, I feel like a fairy tale ending. But, a lot of things can also happen till then. I'm back enjoying just the game and, playing game by game, finishing this ABL season whenever it ends, hopefully with another ring so I can catch up to your ring collection. 3.
How many you got? 3. Oh,
You
you'd be
took
playing
one
a few
from
more
me.
years, mate. I got
Oh.
got 7 dogs. So got 7. So got a few more years to go. Back to your sister. Back to your sister, mate.
Yeah,
and
let's
I have
touch
to
on
touch
that.
base on this because Tamika is fantastic, fantastic person. She obviously met her. Quite a few years ago, was over in Perth, and is over in Perth. Representing Australia softball. If you talk to your family, who is the favourite off the bat? Is it yourself or is it Tamika?
Me.
Come
You
on,
could
give it a
ask.
rest.
She knows that. She knows that too.
Yeah.
Mix is a smart one. She's like always been switched on, always been like the most motivated. Like always has worked extreme. Like moved to Perth to help her career with softball, and now she's one of the co-captains. So she's always been just an absolute beast in that aspect. But like, I mean, you got me. So like, I'm the oldest child.
We'll chop that. We'll chop that and send that straight to her.
No way.
Yeah.
Well, Whitey, that's amazing. I think that's really cool. Your sister's on the Australian women's softball team.
Could you imagine it? Both playing at the Olympics.
That would be sick, man. That is so cool. Like that's just one of the best stories around. Other than my other brothers, the Wells brothers, playing against each other in the ABL. That's up there, right? Like that would be a close second. But you've played a bit of softball and quite at a quite high level. In Australia here. But it sort of leads into a pretty cool story about your bats that you're swinging now. If do you want to have a bit of a chat about that, about a guy that's probably one of the best men's softballers in the world, and Hughesy loves it that we're talking about softball, but I don't care because this is a good story.
Can I jump in? Can I jump in before you go down the bat story? Can you just let everyone know? And a lot of people know your story, but more people don't know your story. Can you just give us like how? And I've got my my story about Whitey back in the day. But talk us through, mate, how the transition happened from softball into baseball and, what carried on after that real quick.
Yeah. The first started, I went to a World Cup for under 19s in Argentina. And I guess a scout saw me there. And then another scout came to the men's nationals where I played with Nick Shales, who we'll talk about in a sec. And then they went back up to Brisbane after the softball nationals, and Gareth Jones.
Yeah, Gareth Jones. Yeah.
Yeah, came up to me and was like, "Hey," called my parents like, "Hey, you want to come down to your local softball field and do like a tryout for the Reds?" And I was like, "Did it?" And he was like, "Oh, like you can see something, but you should go try to play baseball for like a season at Redlands." And I was like, "I'll see." Anyway, I went down, and Connor McDonald's and that, they were there, got me onto the state team. Deebs helped me field, made a state team, and that was kind of the start of how I, pushed my way into baseball at, I think, just turned 17. So, and then before that, I think, 17 I was 17 years old when I first played my first game of baseball.
It's nuts, right? And I remember you coming to the academy, man. I was there, and I was like, "Who's this clown? He's a softballer. Who's he thinking he's coming over just to play baseball?" And then all of a sudden, you saw him run, and this most athletic guy going. I was like, "Yeah, okay." I was like, "All right, okay, I can see this."
Can we throw the funny part of that academy too is when Hughesy got ejected from one of the games?
That's my fault. This is my fault for bringing up the academy because I knew it was going to come bite me in the ass. Right?
Tell me the story, Whitey. I want to hear it. I don't want to hear it from you, Hughesy. I want to hear it from Whitey.
No, I just remember we were playing because I had Alex Wells on my team, and I had Lockie on my team, and I just remember something. It was like a close play at home. He's just gone out there and just let the umpire have it. And gets ejected from an academy game. And I remember our coach was Huber. And he's just sitting there like,
slightly different personalities, Huber and me. Look, I went to war, right? I was up there. I was trying to win the whole thing. And And I think that's why Deebs loved the fact that when, he said, hey, you want to coach? I was like, yeah, I'll manage. Of course I will. And just went to war, right? And Phil Allen was the same way. And I'm cut from the same side of cloth as him. And I think that's why they loved us up there, because went up there, I want to make sure the boys were out there to win. I'm not out here just to make up the numbers, right? So, look, that was a younger Hughesy. I'm a little bit more calm now.
No, you aren't at all. You are the same person. Just see the text messages he sends me before we start these things, Whitey. It's like, what time? Let's go. And I'm like, oh, yeah, sorry, Mr. Hughes.
It's funny, though. Like, I came over so, like, as Hughesy said, like, people saw. I told him I was at the Legacy camp with Olchie, who was, like, another one of players on that first WBC qualifier, who, like, and this is something, I don't give Hughesy much shout outs, but like Hughesy, Olchie, Decent, like all you older guys, I would be nowhere near have had the career I've had if it wasn't for you guys. Like, I was so, like, I was so raw, and it could have gone like two ways. But like with how everyone kind of accepted, and I kind of pushed my way into some dinners and breakfasts to listen and just be a fly on the wall. But like how they took me in, like Hughesy took me in. We never technically played together on the ABL, but any Aussie team, like, he'd always help me out, or if I never needed something I could call. D-Sam was the same. Olchie was all the same. All the Brizzy boys, Logs and all that. Like, all those guys helped me develop to be able to compete so quickly, I guess, from, going over the States at 18 and only playing when I was 17.
It's crazy.
It's an unbelievable story. It's a great story.
It's cool,
one
though.
that probably doesn't get shared very often.
It's cool, though, because, like, I think too, and like, I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, Hughesy, but like, I feel like the situation would be like, you got this kid, and obviously we all know that, there's this softball guy coming over, yeah. And then, like you said, Hughesy, you see him and you're like, okay, we got something here. And then from what you're saying, Whitey, you're like, you're busting in. You just want to be there, trying to absorb it, And so you older guys, I'm guessing, Hughesy, you're probably like, all right, hey, like the kid, like he's not up himself. He's not trying to,
he was up himself.
Oh,
no, 100%.
But you know what I mean? Like, he's trying to absorb it, He's doing the right thing. You want to sit under the learning tree, and he's trying to break down every opportunity he gets to do it. So, like, I mean, that's probably why they turned around and said, let him in,
Sorry, go ahead, mate. No, you go, mate.
I was just like, I think that was the one thing is, like, I was lucky with my parents. They made me change sports a lot, and I kind of had to, push my way into aspects. But they made it so, like, competitive. For me, it felt like to show if I wanted to actually, or if I deserved to be there. Not like I wasn't good enough to be like, oh, hey, look at this and this. But anything I had a chance to do, I'd try and do it as best I could to show off in that sort of aspect.
Yeah.
What I was going to say about you, Whitey, and the coolest thing that I'd take out of what you've kind of said just there, and I had guys before me, bring me in and take me along for the ride when I was a young fella. And, as, I got older and, became that, leader and stuff like that in the national team, and started bringing guys in, and, the younger guys coming through, and like, these guys are going to be here for the next 15 years. And, you try to help them along the way and help mold them and get them to understand what it feels like, what it means to play for your national team. And then the coolest thing for me out of all this, you fast forward now and you're 28, you got plenty more baseball ahead of you, but you're bringing guys in underneath you now, and you're bringing guys along for the ride, and you kind of see that kind of circle continue on. And the fact that you're doing that now, mate, and the amount of love and passion that you share for the game, it's really cool to listen to and hear you speak about it, mate. And it's special, right? And I'm really looking forward to, you got another 10 years. You can play as long as you want, mate. Speed never dies, and you can always hit if you can run. So, mate, I'm from the bottom of my heart, mate. It's been fun to watch you develop over the years into the person you are now and the baseball that you are. And there's so much more ahead, mate. So I really hope that you get to play a home Olympics in 8 years with your sister too, with all the fanfare that it will be. It'll be unbelievable, mate. So it's just a storyline there. I'm going to truck that one along the way, mate. Even if you stop answering my phone calls, I'm still.
And look, let before we wrap it up, before Hughesy gets all bloody teary on us all, and we all have to reach for the Kleenex, but. Give us the rundown too, because now this is something that obviously is close to me. Lismore guy, Nick Shales, softballer. We sort of touched on it before, but he's involved in a bat company. He's based in Canada now, and you're swinging those bats at the moment. And yeah, give us a bit of a rundown for that, because you obviously played with Shalesy in softball in Brisbane as well, right?
Yeah, and Charles is family friends, and then he was also when I made the men's softball national team young. I think like 16 was my first year. And similar thing to when I first came up to baseball and made the WC. It was like he took me under his wing. I pretty much wouldn't go anywhere without Shalesy being close. It was like his little shadow. And then when I started going into the baseball, he had started making batting gloves. And that's when I started using the lumberjacks, and that's where it first started. And every year, like seriously, I wouldn't have, probably been able to be successful because, it's like trying to get batting gloves in the States, especially when you're in the GCL and it's 4,000 degrees, you're going through batting gloves like it's nothing. Shalesy, every time I needed a pair, send it straight out. I'd never paid for one pair of batting gloves my whole baseball career. Still to this day, he sends them. So it has been non-stop. He's been unbelievable. Now he's changed over in there. It's hard, HRD, bats and batting gloves. And I'm trying to push him out here in Australia. I know he's actually looking to try and get a distribution store out in Lismore for the bats. So, but I'm just trying to push it out to all the Aussie teams, great bats. And, obviously they work as the two guys who are leading the league and hitting.
Hey.
The hard bat,
Love that. I'll tell you what, do yourselves a favour, look up HRD Bats. We'll put a little link to the Instagram and stuff, because I was lucky enough to get my hands on one a few years back, and it's sensational. Custom gigs as well. I'm not sure if they're still doing the customs, but I know that was a big driver for them a few years back, and a really good bat. Like, yeah, my mind's still going.
From a bloop to a blast, wasn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I mean, I was always a blast, but Hughesy just hates me, Like,
I was gonna ask a question. Does he make tin bats? Because don't you play C grade? So don't you swing tin?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I play C grade. Yeah, I'm that one guy that can't let it go in a tin bat league. Still swing a wood. No, shut up, Luke. I'm trying to do a plug here for a mate. Sell some bats. No, but
does he make fungos? That's all I care about now.
Yeah,
they do.
That's a good point. Yeah.
All right, there we go.
But no, they've been awesome, and he's only getting bigger and bigger, and especially pushing more pro guys in the States too. So it's something. Couldn't thank Shalesy enough. Seriously, I don't think that's another thing. Bats and having them bats and batting gloves on hand, especially as a minor leaguer from Australia who's not a top prospect.
Yeah.
That was really huge for me. It's like, Hughesy, how much more confidence you have when you get a package?
Mate, it's just like, you're like, oh, what's in my locker today? It's so excited.
You get 3 hits and you didn't even care. You decked out.
If you had a dozen bats roll in, you'd pull every single one of those bats out, and you're like, they're all the same, but you're like, yeah, this one feels good.
What's the Whitey model? What model are you rocking, Whitey?
AW2.
AW2. Is that
what's
like
AW stand for?
AW2.
AW2.
Now, what is it? What's it turned off? What's your model like, sort of based around?
So we've got like a couple different styles, but it used to be like a 271.
I was going to say that 271 in
little pea shooter, little pea shooter. But then now it's gone to like a like more of an Acuna model.
Okay.
So a bigger barrel. But honestly, I've been throwing bats at him. I had a JM1, and then I wanted that he just sent out to me from their company. And I like it better than AW2.
Is that a Joe Mauer bat by any chance?
That's what I was trying to figure out. What do you reckon? JM1.
JM1.
Never heard of him.
JM is probably. Whitey, if you take it back, you've only maxed out at 4 home runs ever in a season. If you swung something bigger than a 271, you might have hit more.
I'm using Greg Bird's bats now, mate. You want me to tell him that he needs to swing bigger bats?
No, they're probably massive.
Can you? Wait,
That's what I'm saying. Ask Wellesley if I need to swing a bigger bat.
Oh, which one? Both of them, or just Alex?
Hey. Don't talk shit about my brothers, all right? Or else we'll have a real fucking throwdown.
I have a good story about them before I leave. Lockie will love this one. I have a good story about him before I leave.
Go far away.
Well, no, hang on, just real quick before we get into the Wellesley story, I have to ask you a question. Has Birdie seen any of the like memes and stuff I've been doing about him in my breakdown videos? Have you showed him any of this? Can you just, if you haven't, can you just show him to him?
Yeah.
Some of the stuff, because it's quite funny. Like some of the videos I've done with Tal and Birdie, where I'm like, is Birdie Tal's like dad, like all this shit, and then next thing you know, all this shit breaks out last weekend in Melbourne. Like it's just, anyways, it was just fun. I just have to just do me a favor and just show him the video.
I'll show him.
Yeah, thank you.
He's a legend,
Appreciate
Birdie.
that. Yeah,
mate, he's got no idea. He's got no idea about a bloop and a blast. He's like,
no, that's what I mean, though. That's what I'm thinking. Like, I'm like,
you need to get him on.
Let's get him in.
He's
I'd love to. He looks funny
legend.
as hell. Yeah, I reckon he just doesn't look funny. He's not coming on now. Fuck.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's funny looking.
He ain't funny looking. No, but he just, like, I've seen him do interviews and stuff, and he's just like, and the guy goes, hey, did you think you got it out? And he goes, yeah, I did, yeah. It's just like, what?
Well,
all right, what's the Wellesley?
Fun fact.
Yep.
About 2025.
Okay.
And I keep bringing this up to Greg Bird every week. Every time we go to the field, that Whitefield has 3 more homers than Greg Bird in 2025.
Oh, in 2025, not 24,
whoa,
25.
Easy, brother. It's a new year. Close the year book, Hughesy.
Whoa. I was like, did you see both of our faces then? And both our faces were like, what? Hot scoop? What's this?
3-0, 3-0, 3-0 Birdie.
Do not awaken the bird beast.
No, we try. I've been on him all season, mate.
I'm trying to wake him up.
Maybe we should just ring him up right now and get him on the Zoom. Stuff it. Like this episode's already going to go 2 hours. Ask him, just ring him and just ask him if he's ever heard of Bloop and a Blast podcast. No, before we get out of here, mate, we will have to wrap it up because this is going to be a pain in the ass for me I've still got to edit this and then drop it. So if you're listening to this Thursday morning, that means I've had a late night. But what's this Wellesley story? Tell me all about this Wellesley story. I want to hear it.
No, we just so obviously championship last year, hit a homer, gave him a spray as I was going. Not really a spray, but just a good old laughing too. So before we went to Adelaide this year, like to play the series, as we're flying in, I sent him twice a video of last year of the homer just to let him know, to see if I can fire him up, see what I can get out of him. Nothing. All he sent back to me was like, "Nice." Give me something better than that. And then,
did you get him again?
Well, no. Then Alex after I hit the homer off him on Saturday, comes up to me and goes, "Well, I guess I'm going to get a video next year." Said, if we play in the finals, brother, it'll be in your inbox.
I love it. That's awesome.
I love getting me some Wellesley. Love them. Love the boys to death.
They're bloody legends, mate.
Can't bowl there, though. That's what I told him.
Mate,
you never see me fight so hard to not punch out against those two. I feel like a cricket player fighting it off.
I just want them to pitch another 10 years, mate. I just want to see this rivalry and then continue to play. And because
it's sick,
they're two of the best, mate. They're two of the best left arms we've got.
Honestly, it's sick to see though. Like Alex coming back after having all that time on and just being able to shove. And
can he win the Helms? Can he win the Helms?
Whoa, easy. I mean,
he'll need a few mint slices by the sound of that.
Need a couple mint slices for that.
A 1 for 14 weekend for you, mate. Gets you fucking out of it. So
I'm not having a Hughesy weekend. Come on.
Who's the Bloop now, bitch? Well, you got to ask you, mate. Where'd you get that blue helmet? Everyone keeps asking, like, why? He's grabbed this blue helmet. And if you haven't seen it, watch an Aces game on YouTube. But he's got this blue helmet, and you've just stuck the Aces. Where's it from, mate? Tell me.
So my first WBC Aussie helmet, it's that, and my stepdad and I tried to spray paint it navy, and we're like, we didn't have a uniform there. Like, that's close. We're playing the Bandits, and I went to the field, and I was like, I look like I'm playing on the Bandits again. But then I started hitting, and they're like, everyone's like, oh, you got to change it. I was like, yeah, I'll change it when we get home. That kept hitting, and then no one told me to change it. So I was like, you know what? Let's just write it out. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They say.
I love that. That's awesome.
Mate, I'm looking at a picture of you making your debut with the Twins. You didn't want to just pull that one, mate. Just bring that. It's blue. You could have pulled that one out of the bag. Did you get to keep that one?
I actually don't know where that is. All my stuff's still in the States.
Yeah, okay.
No, true.
Talking about, it's pretty young. Could have had a shave. Probably could have had a haircut too, by the looks of these photos.
Well, my debut.
The best.
You look a little bit better when you were the Angels. A little bit better. They must have had a better barber with the Angels than with the Twins, eh?
The best. We weren't allowed. We weren't allowed to go to the barber shop. Stuck indoors.
The best Whitey photo I've seen this week is that one that went up on the Aces Instagram of you with the was that you with the como emo-y fringe? Yeah. My man, whoa.
Is he going bald?
Tell me it's 2007 without saying
got plenty of lettuce up there.
Unreal.
That's a flow, Hughesy.
Whitey,
take yours off, Hughesy. Take yours off.
Oh, yeah, here we go. Hey, he's got it.
Look at it. It's still there, brother.
That's good.
Look, let's be honest. It's going a little bit thin there. A little bit. Why do you reckon I wear hats, everybody, mate?
Me too.
Whitey, Hughesy, we could stay here all night, I reckon, and it'd be awesome. It'd be fun. But I tell you, I've got to edit this, and I want to go to bed at some time tonight. So, Whitey, you're a legend, mate. This has been too much fun. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time.
Sexy.
And mate, we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. We've still got to go through. After this, we're going to go through and do our picks and our previews as to what's going to happen this weekend, and talk to Eric Balnar. And mate, there's a lot going on this weekend. But good luck to you, and good luck to the rest of the crew for the rest next round and the rest of this season, however long that lasts for you, mate. And absolute blast talking to you. We appreciate you.
Cheers, fellas. Cheers for having me,
brother.
Appreciate it.
Up the Aces. Mate.
There we go. A bit of fun with Whitey. I love that guy. Like, he just a bit of a character. Like, you can see it in the way he plays. Obviously, I haven't got to spend as much time with him as you have over the years, Hughesy. But what a guy! Like, that was awesome. That was too much fun.
No, he's a ripper and great personality. You know, it's infectious, right? So has a lot of fun out there in the ballpark. Loves playing the game. Loves everything about the game. Australian baseball, giving back to the families and the kids and all that stuff like that too, mate. So what a blast that was. Yeah,
look, so many things out of that episode. I mean, just no holds barred almost. There was a lot of banter getting thrown around and a lot of chat here, there, and everywhere. But wow, what an amazing career! And he's only 28. Like, what? That baffled me a little bit. But I mean, it's another one of those guys that you look at, and I know we've spoken about this, and I know we're going to move on to some other topics, but we've spoken about this before, about the future of Australian baseball, and especially the Australian baseball team, the men's team. And that's another one of those guys that you can add into that sort of, he's, probably more late 20s, but still in a really good age for the team moving forward, as long as he keeps crushing, and doesn't look like there's going to be any signs of him slowing up at all. So
absolutely not, mate. That's great to see.
Yeah. Well, we've actually got we've been pretty lucky. So this is a big episode, and we thank you guys for jumping on and tuning in. But we've actually been pretty lucky. We've got Eric Balnar, the ABL media guy, media guru. He's everywhere that baseball is, and we've got a quick chat with Eric Balnar right here for you now. And here we go. We've got Eric Balnar from he's a beat reporter, an Australian baseball beat reporter, and he's here to give us Balnar's bits on what's been happening in Sydney with the AYC, 16s, 18s, mate. It's been a huge week for you. Can you give us a quick wrap up of everything that you've seen? Can you even do that in a short time?
We had a rain delay. We had a lightning delay. We had a fire alarm delay. The stadium was evacuated, and we got all the games in, by the way. It was a week full of delays, it feels like, but it was pretty cool. Like, you guys know it very well, right? Like, you have all the best under 16s, all the best under 18s. But it was just kind of fun, right? Like, it's just kids playing baseball, and they're so passionate, right? State pride's on the line. Different animal comes out when you're wearing that WA or New South Wales or SA, whatever it is, on your chest. It's cool to see, like, just kids having fun with their friends, playing baseball as literally as hard as they can go. So it's actually, it was fun to be around. I really enjoyed my week, even though it was it was a lot.
Yeah.
Do you have a throughout the tournament? Obviously, there's so many good things happen. What was the one standout thing, if you could narrow it down, besides the gold medal and team celebrating? That's awesome. What was the one thing that you look back at?
I think if in terms of like baseball performances, I'm going to remember probably Riley Puckett, the New South Wales pitcher. Like, I think his performances were pretty cool. And, you know, he's playing in front of national selectors and he's playing in front of scouts. And like New South Wales, they started the tournament 0-1 and were probably the 18's favorite. They lost to WA. They had to play Queensland on the first day of the tournament. And Queensland scored, New South Wales scored just one run, but they won the game because Riley Puckett tossed a complete game shutout and allowed 2 hits just on back-to-back sequences. They were kind of soft contact. And then that got them started. And then they threw him in the qualifying final to set him up for the gold. And again, he goes a complete game shutout and he allows, only 1 walk, 4 hits, but, you know, seven strikeouts. So like his tournament was pretty special. And I think it'll be kind of the Riley Puckett tournament, if you remember it that way, I suppose, from the 18s. From the 16s, South Australia winning was pretty cool. They went undefeated. Like, they were just so scrappy. They had 3 walk-offs. I don't know how a team has 3 walk-offs when you're the home team 5 times. How
something in the water.
Happen? Like,
something in the water cool. Down there.
Yeah.
Mate, the one thing I've been sitting here watching all day long, and it was probably you that posted it, this Lockie Valla kid that just absolutely murderized this ball. It was one of the most gangster swings I've seen from a kid that age for so long. And I think, I already think it ended up with 4 home runs for the tournament. But that ball he hit was like murdered, right?
He wasn't trying to do anything else.
And the funny thing is, well, like, what's been cool is we've had a pretty cool team of people kind of covering this tournament. And I'll give a shout out to Alex Palmer, who's been awesome. I think it's added a lot to have like these little player interviews after the game and hear what they're doing. And he asked him about the home run. And you can watch the video on there. And Lockie was just like, yeah, I kind of, yeah, there it is. Like, but you can watch his interview as well. He looked to one of his teammates in the dugout, to Christian Lane, and was just like, this is my last under 18s at bat ever. I better make it count. And then he just walks up there and just demolishes the baseball. And it kind of put a punctuation on it. But yeah, 4 home runs from Vella. Yeah. I got to run the exact numbers, but someone was telling me they think the Blue Sox have only hit 6 homers at home this year or something like that. Like, so Vella in that, like, that ballpark's hard to hit a homer in, right? Like,
yeah, it's huge.
He smoked it. It was pretty cool. It was swaggy.
Yeah.
You can crush it.
Mate, there's a lot of work that goes on in the backgrounds to put this tournament together. There's always, something happening in Sydney. There's always, as you said, you got to put up with the weather. It's either 42 degrees or if it's raining and stuff like that. A lot of people behind the scenes pulled it together, mate. I just want to say shout out to all those crew that be able to pull it off, the grounds crew, the players that chipped in and helped, the coaches that chipped in and helped. I mean, it would have taken a small army to put this tournament together and run it nice and smoothly.
Yeah, I think, and if you're to go to another level, to the first question he asked about, like, what's going to stand out the most for me, it's going to be the community effort behind it. And that even goes with other clubs, right? Literally one day it was perfectly sunny and a cell just exploded over Blacktown and whitewashed games. And it was like the most crucial game of the pool play. Like, South Australia had to beat New South Wales to get in. Otherwise, Queensland were in. And they moved the game, jumped on the phones. Michael Ibbotson, Andrew Clements, the whole team there got on the phone. And, there was contingency fields, and the field that Sydney was bucketed by rain that day, but not in Chifley, which is a 51-kilometer drive away. So they just said, we're going to suspend this game and we're going to go 51 kilometers down the road and just pick up where we left off to play ball. But that doesn't happen if you don't have unbelievable baseball community members at Chifley and the Eastern Suburbs Dolphins and Henry there. You don't have games at Castle Hill Knights, and like Ben and his team were working unbelievably hard. They opened the canteen on a Monday, like out of nowhere, and they didn't know they had games until like 10 p.m. the night before. And they're like, no worries, we'll make it happen. Everyone at MacArthur Orioles, like, I think that's what is going to stick out to me too, is that, like, you got to love the Aussie baseball community, right? Everyone wants these kids to play games. Everyone wants this tournament to happen. Yeah, stuff happens. Yeah, weather happens, but it was just like a remarkable show of resilience that was like, you know what, screw it. We're just going to do whatever we can to get these games in. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, the 51-kilometer game is going to stand out for me too.
That'd be a long way in South Australia, wouldn't it? You'd almost get halfway across the state.
Yeah. But I don't know, even little moments, like I loved watching New South Wales Country had a walk-off that kind of spoiled Queensland's tournament, to be honest. Little Owen Heartbreaker. He like that was a cool moment to see how much it meant to those kids just to get a win. You know, that was really, really, really cool. ACT won 4 games. Like that was cool too. They beat Victoria twice, and seeing how much it meant to like those communities that are, you know, maybe not baseball powerhouses, but they got a big win on the weekend, and just seeing how much that meant. Like it was cool. There's a lot of wins across the board for some people. It was cool.
And that is amazing. I mean, it's almost a celebration of baseball sometimes, isn't it? You know, like how hard these kids work to get there, and like you said, they're from smaller communities and all of that. Can you give us a rundown of the 16s, what the final standings were, and then obviously for the 18s as well? Can you give just some of our listeners who maybe aren't, you know, in the loop, what were the final standings?
I'll give a breakdown for you, the key headlines, the things you need to know. We'll start with the 16s. South Australia were undefeated. They had 3 walk-off wins. They were the only undefeated team in any age bracket in the division. And I think they knew they were good and they had a chance, but I didn't think they realized they'd be undefeated. And yeah, they were just resilient. They got on base. They didn't allow a lot of free bases, and yeah, that was impressive. Vic can hit. That was the other notable thing, is I think they scored 47 runs in a 3-game stretch to get into the finals. So yeah, the SA dominance was pretty cool. And then the 18s was just a battle. Like you felt like it was probably a 4 or 5 team race. Like Queensland lost 3 games by 1 run, and they probably should have been in the mix. But yeah, New South Wales lost early, came good late. Great, powerful performance from Lockie Vela. But how about like Ben Nesbitt would have had to be in the mix as well at some point for an MVP, because that WA team can hit. Like they were just belting the ball all over the shop. That entire infield is super impressive. So I think, yeah, WA bats, New South Wales, they were just kind of more well-rounded, I suppose. But yeah, there were some pretty great games, especially in the 16s. But yeah, so gold medal SA in the 16s, silver Victoria. This is, I don't know if you can hear that.
I heard that.
We moved the game forward to 9 a.m. and 12 for this reason, because otherwise we might not have this gold medal result in right now. Yeah, but WA got the bronze in the 16s. And then, yeah, New South Wales won 2 WA, 3 Victoria. So the South Australia and WA boys, the only teams to have medals in both of the divisions. So we know who the real winners are. The WA.
That's loud.
I can see the thunder, the lightning in the background. Oh my god! Wow, that is awesome, man. Unreal. Well, look, hey Eric, before you go, real quick, I do want to just quickly just throw it back to some ABL stuff. I don't know if you've heard, and this is probably a big story for you. All right, considering you are the beat reporter around the traps. Hey, Hughesy got a perfect round last weekend, which is unheard of.
I'm back.
Double points round. He's in the lead by 1. It is all happening. So
I saved my best work for the late.
Just the very last minute.
You got everything.
And I gave him double points. We're in trouble. So
I've got 2 questions. All right. Huge weekend. What's the storyline? There's so many things that can happen this weekend, like win and go through, lose and you're out. So what do you got for us, mate?
Yeah, buy a calculator. There's like just crazy equations that can happen here. That's exactly it. Like I can't remember a season since probably that first or second season when there was like a 5-way tie for 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th place when you boys were just like 14 games ahead and everybody else was tied. Yeah, I mean, like literally every team is a chance, right? And like, could Brisbane sweep Canberra? Like, is that a possibility?
The Canberra's too good for that to happen. No, they're going to win a game or so, yeah. But like so quickly, so I can get the understanding. Canberra has the head-to-head over Melbourne, right?
Yes.
Right.
But
And
the
they're a
head-to-head
game behind.
change, right? Because
No.
there's a head-to-head formula based on how you perform against the top team. But the top team is still in the balance. Like Sydney have a couple game lead, but like if you're tied on head-to-head, then it goes on record versus the first place team. And that equation changes based on, like, if you're Perth, you're like, Adelaide, finish top, please, right? Or you just take that, you know. And if you're Canberra, you're like, Adelaide, finish top, please, because we were 1-7 against Sydney. So yeah, it's pretty chaotic, and like I think the equation changes every day, right? So I mean, you just got to take it one day at a time. The simple one is if Sydney win on Thursday, they clinch a home final. That would be pretty cool to have that done and dusted. If Adelaide win one game, they clinch a final spot. But if Adelaide and Melbourne have a pretty healthy little rivalry, I would, I think I would say. Healthy, is that the right word?
Good word. Good choice.
Yeah.
Good choice.
Rivalry.
Do yourself a favor.
They can.
Oh, sorry. You go, Eric. Sorry. Keep going. Sorry, mate.
No, I'm just saying, like, they can, like, Adelaide can end Melbourne's season this weekend, and like Melbourne can cause absolute chaos if they win that series or sweep. Imagine if they sweep Adelaide and Adelaide go, like, there's just crazy scenarios. There's a lot of different things at play here.
So I was looking at this earlier, and this sort of iterates the point, and we'll wrap it up really quick. But I was reading through I'm presuming this is your work, Eric, either way, on the ABL website, right? Clinching scenarios. Yeah. No, these are unofficial, just how this author interprets. And then it goes down Adelaide Giants. Yeah, Adelaide Giants can clinch with 1 win over Melbourne or 2 Canberra losses to Brisbane, 3 Perth losses to Sydney. Perth Heat can clinch the finals with magic number. And I'm reading it going, hang on, but what? What is this? What is this? Also, though, I'm reading it. I'm not the guy that had to try and put all this together. Like, congratulations, well done. But
I would weekend. Like AK and Watto this weekend at the AYCs, and like we have some ABL chat as you go on, and like even those scenarios, they're just like, okay, so if this happens, then this happens, but if this happens, and I don't know, and Funky Phil administers a 3-legged race on the field, and the tiebreaker goes to and if the Diamond Dash has, then Perth win the tiebreaker. But if the water balloon toss in Canberra doesn't go right, then the cat, like, it's really confusing. There's some weird things at play.
It's unreal. Like,
by the way, best call of the year has come from you with the Diamond Dash. I must say, Big Sexy. Those Diamond Dash calls would be.
Don't tell him that. Don't tell him that.
Hey,
don't tell him that.
I don't know if there's any ABL Media Awards coming up, but I wouldn't mind something.
Best Diamond Dash caller. We'll put that in the voting thing.
Thank you very much.
I'll take it. Eric, mate, I'll have to say, I did see a little empty glass of red wine behind the back of you. It seems like you need to enjoy this quiet night tonight for yourself before a hectic weekend this weekend, mate.
Look, BA official. There's absolutely been not one glass of red wine. It's just grape juice. From the day we had juice boxes every day, so I definitely didn't have a glass of wine today.
Eric, mate, we appreciate you, and look, not just, I think this is kind of nice because it's we're coming into round 10. It's been a season. This is just one season, right? You do this every year, and this is whatever, but a great opportunity for us to say thank you for everything that you do across the ABL, across baseball. You've been everywhere this year, man, and that, to think that was only like 10 or 12 weeks ago. What the heck? What an exciting life. But also, we want to thank you for your contributions to the sport.
From your 12 before that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the media, it's not just, I think anyone that knows that you do a lot across the game, and it's a very thankless job, but we just want to say, on behalf of the guys here, at least on the Bloop and Blast podcast, we thank you, mate. We appreciate your work. So keep up the awesome work. You're killing it.
That's really nice to hear, especially after what was a long week, long hours. But yeah, I mean, I have a lot of fun doing it. Like, Australian baseball is like the coolest community that I've been introduced to and proud to be part of. And I hope that I represent it fine. I care deeply about this community and the people involved in it. But I appreciate you guys too. Like, this podcast has been a highlight listening to on Thursday mornings going to the ballpark. It fires me up. It gives me that little spark when I'm like, all right, let's go. It's time for game time, baby. Let's hear how wrong Luke Hughes' predictions are. It's just, like, you give your predictions and then I just go and I enter the scores. I send out a media release. And it's just like, well, he spoke it out of existence,
I'll give him one thing. He stayed hard on Melbourne, and I'm happy for it. You stuck to your word. You stuck to your guns. I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you. So
we'll see what happens this week.
Eric, thanks, mate. We appreciate you, and keep up the awesome work. And look, I hope to maybe. Who knows what's going to happen with the finals, where they're going to be, what's going to happen. But hopefully we run into each other down the road. You never know. You never know your luck.
We can have some grape. We can have some grape juice. I've got a nice little bottle, so
Or maybe even some brown morning juice. You know what I mean? Some of that coffee stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. He's a big coffee guy. He's right into it. All right, mate. We appreciate you. We thank you so much. Yeah. Cheers.
Thanks, mate.
All right, catch you.
And there we go. Huge thanks to Eric Balnar with Balnar's Bits jumping on the podcast. A bit of fun. Love that. And man, I tell you what a guy. He's the busiest man in baseball. Just gets around it, has a good time. So huge shout out to Eric for jumping on the pod and having a chat with the boys. So awesome stuff. Now, of course, round 9, it was double points round. And a lot happened across the ABL. Yeah. Look happy, mate. Look happy. I can't believe it. But Hughesy bagged himself a little perfect round on double points. It's a whole new ball game.
Mate, big time players turn up late in the season, and that's just what happened.
Okay. Yeah. And look, and you can say it across the league too, because and we're going to quickly, we know this episode's run super long and it is what it is, but we've got to get
Joe Rogan goes for 3 hours, whatever.
I'm low-key about to listen to a 5-hour episode of that, and it's one of the best ones ever. But yeah, so let's go through it. Double points in round 9. Hughesy goes for a perfecto round. This is what happened around the league. I'll just read Hughesy's results. 3-1 to Perth over Canberra Cavalry, which is great. Great for Perth. Pretty. I watched a couple of those games, a lot of those games, as many as I could, and that was pretty awesome. 3-2 to Melbourne over Sydney, which I tell you what, we spoke about a little bit with Whitey. A fiery round there. A lot going on, but some good baseball here, there, and everywhere. It was quite good. And one that I didn't get to catch too much of was the Adelaide and Brisbane round, but a 2-2 split there. So that's a El Perfecto for Mr. Hughes. Congratulations, mate. Well done.
Thank you. Yep. Appreciate that. Thank you.
About time you showed up and started scoring some points. Do you have any takeaways from that last round at all?
Oh God, some good games of baseball out there. It was pretty competitive. Brisbane again played a good couple of games there as well. They're going to obviously make it quite difficult this weekend for who are they playing? Brisbane this weekend again?
Brisbane playing Canberra.
Canberra, it's going to be tough. Canberra. Well, we've got 3 teams right there in the hunt for the last probably. Even there's probably 4 teams. There's 4 teams there. Sydney will win that, finish on top, but everyone else, you're going to finish off. Look, anything can happen. Jesus, listen to Balnar. Anything can happen this weekend.
Legit though, like if you do go head over to the abl.com.au and you'll see Balnar's report that I touched on briefly, but it literally has, not every scenario, but a lot of them, and it's very confusing. Kudos to him for being able to put it together, but like it's anything can happen, right? Like Brisbane are a chance, right? Like, are they? Are they not? No. We'll have to wait and see. Well, let's go through. It is round 10. It is the final regular season round fixture, whatever. It's round 10. We're here. I can't believe that we're here. I can't believe that we're here and Hughes is 1 point ahead of me. Like, what? Like, what? Yeah, here we go. Let's go into our final picks for the regular season. Adelaide, Melbourne. What are we doing here, Hughesy? What are we doing? What are we doing?
You go first on this one.
Adelaide are flying to Melbourne.
Gonna be a lot of fans out there. A lot of home crowd support.
It's we kind of touched on it with Whitey, right? Like anything can happen. Anything can now happen in Melbourne. We're starting to see it. Melbourne are pretty fired up, but I'm kind of like doubling down on the Giants like you did with the Aces, right? I'm gonna go 2-2 split There you
No,
go.
I'm so mad at you for doing that.
it's.
I was really hoping you went Adelaide 3-1 and
I
I'll
was
go
thinking
Melbourne
about it.
3-1
Yeah.
and then I'll go Melbourne 3-1. I was really hoping you did that because, like I look at a lot of these series and honestly, probably all three of them, there's a 2-2 split there in all three.
True. Are
Which
you gonna go Melbourne 3-1?
I kind of feel I have to because
I'll go. Okay. If you go Melbourne 3-1, I'll go Adelaide 3-1. There you go. Done. There you go. The boys are on. Yeah, I like it from the fact that we're going head to head. Like I know splits.
I don't think we can go splits. Maybe not.
That's fair. No, that's fair.
No,
fair.
Look, and this is no disrespect to Adelaide. I think they're a fantastic ball club. They swing the bats really well, throw the ball really well. There's, it's nothing more than the fact of a bit of fun here.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that you've been on Adelaide, I've been on Melbourne. Anything can happen this weekend. So yeah, let's do that. It's a bit more fun.
No, let's do that. Then that's a good point because the other thing I was legit thinking like a 3-1 for Adelaide, but I'm like, I got to play for the point. Like I want to be Hughesy, man. Let's go. But it is hard to pick, right? Like and as we sort of alluded to with Whitey, like you're not sure if what Melbourne you're going to get. You haven't really been sure what Heat team you're going to get. But I mean, look, things are trending the right way for Melbourne if you can take that small sample size of the last game and the end of that series. And Adelaide's been Adelaide. It's hard. But anyways, 3-1 each. There you go.
Let's not get it twisted, right? Like Melbourne are lucky to walk away with a couple of those wins in the end. So, like close games, but, they were able to win and that's all that matters. So,
is that a young Sydney team that doesn't lose that game in a couple of years? Like if they can keep that core together, is that what, like, that's an easy thing to say, but you know what I mean? Like there's seemed like there's a few little things.
No, nothing to do with that because they've got, 6 imports in that lineup. So then you got, 3 Aussie guys. So I don't think 3 Aussie guys make a difference that much in a couple of years' time. I like to hope that there's a couple more, Sydney boys, playing within that lineup down the track. Therefore, those, what you just said, really, I can believe that. But, that team is, heavily driven by the talent of their imports and then the sprinkle of the Australians who are playing great baseball too, right? So I'm not so sold on that one.
Fair enough. No, that's fair. Canberra are going to Brisbane. Canberra to Brisbane. You can go first.
Canberra to Brisbane.
Brisbane's kind of like got hot.
Yeah, I know. So do we have to pick a winner of the series, not a push on all 3?
No. Why change the rules now? Like it's up to like.
Okay.
I like the Adelaide Melbourne one though. Like I think that's a good point because I was really close to 3-1 for the Giants anyway. So I like that. You pick what you want. What you think?
No, I honestly think it would be a split again this weekend for Brisbane. I think going into Sunday, someone is either going to back it up and get the split and win, or someone's going to win the series. That's how I just see it. So it's that Sunday game, I think it's going to be huge. It's going to come down to that last game, and Brisbane have been throwing Connor McDonald in that game, and he's pitching really well. He's got like a 290 ERA. He's been fantastic all season. So this is where you either push for Brisbane to split the series. I think it's going to be a split. Honestly, I think it's a split.
Well, if I'm reading this correctly, it is at Brisbane, correct? I'm just going to double check this. Yeah, it is. So I'm going to go with this, and I know it's probably going to bite me in the ass, but every time I've said that, I've ended up. That's how I got my lead. I'm actually going to say Canberra 3-1. Now, the reason for that is I think maybe Canberra have more big bats, more bang in that lineup, and it's going to play pretty well in Brisbane. Not saying that Brisbane aren't crushing.
Perko's alley out there, right centre. Get that? Like he's going to hit a couple. No doubt this week he's going to hit a couple.
Yeah, and like also, what a mad little feel good for Canberra if they can go out and pad the stats last week of the season. But again, not discrediting Brisbane. Like they've come from nowhere to this point where there's a chance. Yeah. So there's that. So I've gone 3-1 Canberra. You can go 2-2 push for the Banditos. Let's move on. Perth.
I already know the answer to this. I already know the answer. We're both going to go 3-1 Perth because that's what we're going to do. I already know it. 3-1 Perth. For me, what are you going to do?
I mean, it's a hard one.
I say 3-1 because I just want to see Perth make it.
So yeah, it's an emotional pick, eh? Like that's the thing. You want it
Wear
to
my heart on my sleeve here, mate. You know.
Yeah. It's a tough one because Sydney.
Yeah.
I don't want to go again. So like they probably win a game with Wellesley on the mound, right? They probably win with Ferreira. I like that guy. Ben Ferreira. Can never even pronounce his name. So there's 2 games there, and then it just the bats, the heat. Yeah.
Sydney are built for that ballpark, right? We all know this. Built with speed and swapping bags. And obviously the defense will be Hawley, a bit of a split with Hawley behind the plate, but oh god, yeah.
How many is it? No.
By the way, side note, Ben for a 4-2 with a 179.
Yeah. Yep.
Not bad.
Pretty filthy. I'm really torn because, like, obviously, I want the Heat. If it was a pure emotional pick, I'd love the Heat to go out 4-0, but I don't think that's not even feasible. It is probably going to be something like a 2-2 split, and you know what's going to happen? We're all going to be scrambling around the ABL, or probably I will be, the ABL website on Sunday, trying to work out who's in where and what happens. The other thing to be really aware of is that the weather in Sydney hasn't been fantastic. I haven't looked at the forecast for this weekend, but I've seen some scuttlebutt around, and it doesn't look great. So if that, what happens there?
Hold on, just pulled it up. So we got Thursday raining 21, Friday raining 21, Saturday raining 23, Sunday 22. So it's literally raining for the rest of the week. So we could be in a bit of strife, and that would just be a disappointing way to end the season if there is a couple of those games rained out. But who knows? You could go double dip Saturday, double dip Sunday. Imagine those scenes. Oh.
That's wild. Is that a thing? Like, would they move it somewhere? Or
well, maybe, but no, I don't think they'll move an ABL game just due to the commercial relationships and stuff like that. But double dip, done it before. It's intense. It's not easy, but if they have to do it, they have to do it. You just have to, right? There's nothing.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do.
Yeah. So you went 3-1 Perth Heat. I'm going to go the 2-2 push. I'm sorry. I'm not. I know it's dog.
So weak.
All right, I'll go 3-1 Sydney. There you go. No worries. Yeah, I'll go 3-1 Sydney. Yeah. 3-1 Sydney. Yeah, and watch me get up and then be sad about it.
I cannot believe you went against the Heat this weekend.
I don't want to. You made me.
I sat there all year back in Melbourne, and if I went against Melbourne this week, I'd be called a hypocrite and all types of names. And then here's you.
I've gone against the Heat. I've gone against the Heat so far this year, and not that I enjoy it. Right? Don't get me wrong. I like the guys. I like them all, but I think also out of the interest of fairness, I'm trying to beat you here. I'm not trying to. I'm going to beat you.
If you beat me with the 2-2s push, like I'll just be broken.
Anyways, there you go. 3-1 for Hughesy. 3-1 on the Perth Heat, and I've gone against it. But hey, my brother plays for Sydney, man. Legit. So I've got to back him. So there you go. 3-1. Well, it's a hell of a round, and it is the final round of the regular season in the ABL. And we appreciate you guys for jumping on and enjoying the season that has been so far. But don't go anywhere because we've still got a couple of weeks. After we get through this madness, we've got to unpack what's going to happen in the finals, in the semis, and then, of course, the championship series. And we've got a bit of fun coming up. We're going to work out who's going to win the tips, how long it's going to go for. Are we going all the way up to the championship game, Hughesy? Is that what we're doing? Or is it just regular season?
Nah, let's just ride it. We'll keep going.
Keep it going. All right. Okay. We've got to find out what the punishment's going to be. I mean, there's so much going on. We don't know. It's all so exciting. But you can keep up to date with it at our socials, at Bloop Blast Podcast, on Instagram, Facebook, and, of course, TikTok. We're over on YouTube. Pretty much any social media platform, you can find us there. Do you have anything else you want to say, Hughesy?
I'm going to bed. Good night.
Yeah, you're going to go to bed. Oh, that must be nice. I'm going to... Everyone knows what I'll be doing once we hit stop record. But we appreciate you guys, and thanks so much for joining in and having fun with us. And we'll see you again next week. But here it is. This is round 10. Enjoy.
Going back. This ball's